everyone. Welcome to this new episode of Light Lunch. My name is Floriana, and I'm very happy to be sharing this webinar today with Islam, one of our Next Gen Award winners, and Daryl, who is also part of our YPA committee member. Hello, everyone. Would you like to introduce yourself, Islam?
Yeah, so hi Floriana and Daryl. Hi to everyone listening. My name's Islam. I'm currently working as an apprentice for a residential building company. I'm in my third year, and I was very grateful and lucky to be able to attend the Next Gen Awards evening, where I was got awarded for my submission on mental well-being in the industry. I think it's quite an important discussion, and yeah, it was a pleasure to be able to share my ideas with all the people that were there. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Floriana isn't around. So hey everyone, I'm Daryl, and I'm currently working as a project manager in the consulting side of things. I'm a chartered professional engineer and a project management professional as well. I'm also a student leader representative here in Auckland. So we are practically managing under the YPA committee. So yeah, that is me.
Nice.
I think we just wait for Floriana.
Yeah, so should we just carry on with the questions?
Yeah, I think I should be hosting it, or you could. Yeah, but Islam, yeah. Can you share the top 3 things that keeping you awake at night?
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing that keeps me awake at night for me as an apprentice is sort of weighing up and balancing trying to get ahead as an apprentice and trying to progress while at the same time taking time to build experience. I think it's quite a common thing in the industry. Like most apprentices, their goal is to get things signed off, and the ultimate goal is obviously to get qualified. But now that I'm coming towards the end of my apprenticeship, I'm starting to realize that I'm starting to slow down more and sort of asking myself, like, how can I actually get the most out of it? Because now that I'm getting more responsibility and I'm learning more, it's like it opens up my perspective. It's opened up my perspective like quite a bit more. I've sort of realized that there's so much out there, and actually rushing through it isn't really the best way to go about it. And I think I sort of think a lot about how can I constantly challenge myself, and I'm constantly working under the pressure of trying to prove myself, like as most apprentices are. But yeah, I'm sort of at the moment trying to take the time to just put myself in a position where I'm constantly being challenged and like asking to do more, and just treating it as an opportunity as opposed to an obstacle. So yeah, that's like the first thing. And then the second thing that keeps me awake at night is sort of what I talked about for my Next Gen Awards submission, and that was about mental well-being in the industry, like building is a team sport. So you're always going to come across conflict, and there's always going to be problems that we have to overcome. And I see it quite a lot around me as well in the industry, like no one's perfect and everyone kind of struggles. But at the end of the day, healthy workers produce better work. So I think it's important that we learn and educate ourselves as like, especially for site leaders as well, on how to communicate and mediate between team members, and also providing support is kind of critical to making a better working environment and ultimately producing a better product. And the last thing that keeps me awake at night is more of a positive one, and that's just the amount of endless opportunities there are in this industry to innovate. I feel like in this industry in particular, there's a lot of room for creativity and different ways of doing things. And it's important to always be looking out for more efficient ways of doing things. Like there's a lot of instances where we fall back on, well, this is the way we've always done it, and my way is the best way kind of thing. But I've found that fresh perspectives can often lead to more efficient work, and whether it be small things like the way we clean up and reduce material wastage, and or it can be the bigger things like how we interpret the plans and how we put engineer specifications to practice when it's when you're going off like general plans and specs. Actually applying it to what you're doing practically is there's room for innovation there and room for using your initiative. And yeah, like there's plenty of different ways of achieving the same outcome. So that's kind of what excites me, is constantly learning the tricks of the trade and better ways of doing things. So yeah, those are probably the three main things I'd say that keep me up at night.
Thank you, Islan. I'm sorry that I dropped off. I had some technical issues back in my end. Thank you, guys. And how about you, Daryl?
Yes, so there are three things that keeps me awake in the night as well. One of which is, yes, that's a resource consent. So yeah, this is one of the big challenges nowadays. And when you have this kind of requirement, you know, things could really slow down real quick. So I think it is just how it is, and it's creating more kind of complexities, added complexities in the projects, especially when the project are heavily increasing in the demands. So that's the first part of it. The second is, I think it's about project timelines that we can tie it up to increasing the project complexity. I know that project complexity comes in different kind of forms, and it's often tied with kind of project size and project budgets. But when you have a fixed deadline, it adds another layer of complexity. I'm referring to the phase where you have the inception through the design. So we sometimes needed an extra consenting stages, especially if you would need some kind of early construction. This means you have to deal with a lot of added resources in the complexities around building consents and resource consents and every interconnections in between. It could potentially impact as well in how you would structure the contractor's contract. So yeah, it's a lot. And the third one would be balancing the resources. So I'm not speaking directly from the contractor's perspective, because they would probably handle that kind of resourcing strategies, but I'm referring more in the design phase. So in an ideal world per se, resource management is being dealt by the company you are working with or the designers in that area. But as we all know, practically people are often juggling, or the designers themselves often juggle with different works, not just one. So for example, some designers are requiring frozen drawings, which is a bit hard to do before they even start design. So it's I pretty much think it's one of the challenges we have to think about every day. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry again that I keep coming out and out. It's like in and out. We are in a new office today, so we're still troubleshooting things. Yeah. But thank you, guys. So let's go to part two. This part is to get to know you a little bit more. So Islan, can you tell me what are you reading, listening to, and watching currently?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm on Instagram a lot. I feel like social media has become quite a big tool for building companies, especially. There's a good podcast called the Better Builders Podcast. There's a lot of good clips on there. we can kind of get different perspectives from like site managers down to apprentices and just talk about the industry in general. I follow a couple of building companies on social media as well. I've seen Wolf Construction and QBS. They have a lot of good resources on there, and I also like looking at the local project. It's a magazine where they just post unique residential and commercial buildings. It's quite nice to get inspiration out of that.
Nice. How about you, Daryl?
Yeah, so I'm exploring different kind of materials. For example, I'm always kind of reading of project management and construction side of things, especially in construction. And the current latest I'm reading is all about, yeah, just the Building Act, and it's probably complicated. Yeah, I also listen to different kind of podcasts in construction, definitely, and some YouTube channels as well. So to give me a fresh kind of perspective in how the way things are going right now. And for fun, I've been watching some kind of pool players. Yeah, I really enjoy watching some billiard games.
Nice. That's cool. So for you, Islam, what is something do you do for yourself to help with your well-being?
For myself, I think even though being a residential builder is quite taxing on the body, is quite a physical job, I think doing exercise outside of work is important. So I like to go to the gym or even just go for short runs. I also really enjoy cooking, like cooking a hot meal at the end of the day is quite nice. It sort of just takes your mind off, separates you from your work environment, it sort of brings you, it's relaxing. And I like to draw as well every now and then. So yeah, those are the few things that I like to do outside of work.
That's really nice. How about
Thank
you, Daryl?
Yeah, just to take off some pressure in the work, I usually visit parks and just walk by the beach, I guess. So it's a good break to mentally reset and help me some kind of to cope up with the pressures from the work. Yeah. So I find it really important to do also something very different from your work, just to have a new kind of perspective in how you approach things, and just not to be too much robotic in how you do things the same way as you did before.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So the third question, Daryl, what is your motto?
I could say my motto would be is to plan ahead, but stay ready to adapt. And I also believe in the saying, I don't know if you know this, but what gets measured can be done. So yeah, so in construction, especially on larger projects, yeah, things can go quickly and change quickly as well. So we just need to be flexible and try to measure everything as much as we can. Yeah.
That's a great motto. How about you, Islam?
Yeah, my motto is quite simple, really. It's I like to take a step back and just ask myself, am I happy with what I'm doing? And that's kind of broad across everything. Like, could be something specific I'm doing at work, and if I take a step back and ask myself if I'm happy with it, I think generally you can kind of sense if you're doing the right thing or if things need to be changed. And it's a good way of just sort of taking yourself out, assessing what you're doing, and seeing what needs to be changed.
Very, very good. And last question before we finish. Islam, what is a piece of advice for the next generation?
Advice for the next generation. I feel like I'm still part of that next generation, so I'm still learning. But from my perspective and what I've learned over the last few years, I think the main thing is to take every opportunity that comes your way. I think there are opportunities and most things that you do, and it's about looking at those opportunities and just sort of trusting your instincts a little bit. And then just going the extra mile by putting yourself out there doing more than what needs to be done, and that eventually opens up the doors for bigger things.
That is a great one. Thank you. How about you, Daryl?
Yes, I think Islam and I are part of that next generation thing. And so my advice applies to me and everyone in construction as well. So yeah, let's just stay curious, keep asking questions and keep learning every day. So yeah, there's tons of information out there, from social media to books to other resources. So just be open to new skills and potentially new knowledge that could make a real difference in our field. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. And thank you everyone who's watching. Apologies for the technical issues, and we'll see you next time in the next session. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.